What's going on today? I'm here with my man Andrew from Ace Marine Detailing, and we are going to be wet sanding the hull here. We've got a 1992 boat, and it probably has not had wax since 1992. So we're going to be going from 1992 to 2022.
So we're going to start at 1,000. We can go a little bit higher grit, but we do 1,000, then go up to 2,000. That'll pretty much remove the oxidation and most of the imperfections that will probably be left behind from the 1,000 grit. Then we'll do our heavy cut.
Okay.
So the main thing is getting rid of the oxidation. When you actually touch the surface right now, it's all chalk. So when we actually wet sand, it will make the polishing process, cutting and polishing process a lot more effective, and you'll get a better result. So that's the purpose of wet sand. You can actually do a heavy compound, but you're going to actually remove a lot of layer of gel coat off there, and you're not going to get that lust of a shine that you're looking for, and probably that gloss. You're going to see the difference once we do the wet sanding versus what it looks like right now. Pretty much knocking off that top layer.
Yep.
Oxidation with the 1,000 grit.
So once you're done with 1,000, we'll go to
We're going to go up to 2,000.
2,000.
Up and down. You can do circular motions, but I try to go up and down motion to remove any imperfections that may be there.
Okay.
Floral marks, holograms.
So 1,000 and then 2,000. Now, so does it matter if it's on white or colored?
Now, when a boat's a color hull, it's a more in-depth process. You have to go through all the stages because you're going to actually be able to see every imperfection.
Right.
So if you do 1,000 grit on a black boat, you're going to have to go through all of these steps in order to get all the swirl marks out.
So you guys start from 1,000 to 1,500 to 2 or whatever, you know.
Correct. Or you can do 2,000, but you're going to require more wet sand to get all the imperfections out. Now, once we actually do the cutting compound will take care of most of the imperfections that may be left. But now we're not fighting with the oxidation on it.
Right. So now it's pretty much all clean, and that's basically it. That's the wet sand, and now we got to compound and cut it.
Right. So we'll wipe it down with some acetone, and now we'll start our cutting compound, and then we'll take a look at it to see if it needs any more work. But the cutting compound should take care of the rest of the oxidation and get that lust of a shine back. The trick with wet sanding is knowing how far to go. You can wet sand. You can wet sand that spot,
Through the gel coat.
Yeah, you can wet sand that spot for hours. But the thing is, you don't need to. You just need to take off just enough bad layers on top, so when you start your cutting with the compound, you're not doing as much work, and you're getting a better result because the gel coat underneath is fresh.
Yeah.
Where the sandpaper can take it off, it requires more for the cutting compound to actually give you the same result.
Yeah, this looks really good once it's wet. Not nice and shiny and slick compared to this right here, which is all oxidized. But that's looking really good. Like Andrew was saying, with the cutting, you can tell on the side that it's been sanded down. You know, once it dries out, you can see all those imperfections. But once you cut it and polish it, there's a lot of gel coat there, so this is going to look good. I mean, you can already tell kind of a difference, but not as much until we cut and compound the side. Now what I'm finding is that it's best to get yourself sections of the boat, since you're going up and down and side to side. Since you're doing that, what I've been doing is finding points on the boat to relate how far you've gone. So I've been doing like 1 foot sections, so I've been using these for a canvas cover that are hooks. And I just been going from here to the middle and that working that section, then from the middle to the next one, working that section, from there to the middle, working that section, so on and so forth, all the way down the side of the boat. Now right now this is just at 1,000 grit. I have not hit it with the 2,000. We tried to put the tape line down here for the bottom coat, for the bottom paint, but that paint is not really sticking on there, so I just let it all fall off and I just kept sanding it all the way down to the line. Now that you've seen how to do it by hand, Andrew's going to show us the easier way to use a machine and hit it with the 2,000 and 1,000 in a way quicker manner.
This is a wet dry paper, so you can actually do it dry, but it's just better to apply some water.
Now what machine is that?
Just orbital sander. As far as the papers, 1,000 grit, and whenever you're using it, even if you hold it flat, there's still some places that you're gonna have to get by hand, like those edges here and around the through holes.
Right.
But the important thing with the sander is you can work, the area pretty evenly, and you're taking off just the same amount of layer versus if you press down on one place too hard, you take off more than the other. So just don't apply a lot of pressure. Just back and forth, up and down motion. That'll do it. Came out pretty good so far. This from the compound, we haven't even touched the polish yet. Pull that tape off, you can pretty much see the difference.
You can really see the difference now just looking at the reflection here and the rest of the boat. This is just the first cut. We haven't even done any polishing or anything like that. So here in just a second we'll really see the difference.
Apply the product directly on the pad. And spread it around. Start the buff off at a lower speed. Kind of break that product down. Get that out of the way.
Now it looks just like a mirror.
Now we're gonna do our polish.
So that's just a, what was that one?
This was heavy. This is the medium. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to a polish because we got it pretty well. I would say the surface is corrected. Don't see any holograms or imperfections. So we can actually lock it in with the polish and wax.
Nice.
All right. So the first was a heavy cut. We follow up with a second cutting compound to remove imperfections. Now we're going to do our polish and wax. And we ended up doing all the steps without wet sanding. This would be the process. So you see the difference? I brought this out so I can show you. If you did not wet sand, you would have to do Super Duty compound. And you'll probably have to do a couple passes with Super Duty, then follow up with heavy to remove imperfections from Super Duty, then follow up with the medium cut to remove any imperfections that may be left behind from the Super Duty and heavy, then follow up with your light and polish. So that's the process. So when you wet sand efficiently, you take it up to 2,000 grit, you can actually eliminate either this process and do this, or if you're really efficient and you're a professional detailer, you can go directly to this process and this process. Now we're gonna lock it in, we're gonna seal it, we're gonna make it shine. My polish, I like to dance a little bit, sorry about that, guys. Alright, you have to get personal with the boat, so sometimes you gotta get close and get into awkward angles. It's okay, it's a part of the polishing process. You gotta get down low and look to make sure you didn't miss anything. Usually up under the rub right here is overlooked, so make sure we polish that as well. Alright. Okay, now we have a mirror. Take a look at yourself.
You can see what kind of camera you got. Awesome. Now that the wet sanding's all done, we've moved on to the compounding. This side over here has all been cut and polished all the way down to about the middle. And you can really tell, like, I don't know if I can get it in the camera here, but you can see any imperfection in the paint or the gel coat once you put that polish on there. Pretty hard to see through the camera, but this side's all looking real fresh. Now I'm going to move over to the other side and cut while he finishes the compound and the wax on this side. I took the tape off.